Hello and welcome to DeFrost Seattle. We are doing another episode, but this time we're going to be talking about customer service relationships. We have Ed Smith with us today. Welcome, Ed.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
And I am Margaret Elizabeth.
And I'm Rafael Rodriguez.
And DeFrost Seattle is a show to bring people together to help to strengthen relationships and really strengthen the bonds between people in society. And a large part of society is your relationships at work. So today we're going to be talking about customer service relationships. And Ed, you have a lot of experience in this area, I understand.
Yes, I have a lot. Well, over a decade working in like customer service one-on-one in different industries, as well as working through my master's in counseling, as well as project management. So I have a lot of experience working with people one-on-one in the customer service realm, where you have to provide more service than even the product, because you got to be able to.
And I've always said that business is really all about relationships. It's like one of the most important things that I know I learned early career was it's all about relationships. And people will want to work with you if they really like you. They want to work with people they know, like, and trust both. So how do you go about developing this relationship to get people to want to work with you?
Well, talk about a couple of things. One being building rapport, yet staying professional, trying to have that commonality or find that commonality that you have with that other person that you're working with, for example. And remembering their names, probably one of the top ways to start that rapport building, and using their name often. During a conversation, Raphael, Margaret.
Okay, Ed.
Right?
Got it.
You automatically. But also, immediately comes to mind is body language.
Oh, okay.
This like over 90% of communication is body language. So eye contact, attentiveness, kind of the way that you're positioned, how your hands are sitting,
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to cross your arms. I understand that's not a good body.
It's not open.
It's not open. So tell me about body posture. What are we looking for? What's a good example of, good body posture when you're building rapport?
Well, one is eye contact, making sure you have good eye contact, and that your your body is open to that other person and not closed off or cross-legged, or just having that openness, willingness. And then an aspect of it is also just active listening. When they're talking, you're the one who's absorbing what they're saying and not off distracted texting or, oh my gosh, I got a meeting at 5 o'clock,
Yeah. And people can tell when your wheels are turning and you're really not present, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, very good. Those are some really good tips. Yeah. So you're in the situation where you're in a business role where you need to, say, have other people like you and purchase your services from other companies, So what kind of things would you do to, other than the body language and the rapport, building rapport, what's the next step in getting people to want to work with you, do you think?
Knowing and understanding their needs, that would pay, huge dividends, just totally understanding what it is that they need out of your service that you provide or out of the products that you sell, and getting a good understanding of exactly the right things that will meet their needs, and maybe even go above and beyond and provide extra things that they don't even know that they need at the moment.
Right. I think that's really good.
And a lot of it comes from making questions.
Asking the right questions.
Yeah, and remembering the answers. And then bringing that back in the next meeting, in the next call. Say, hey, do you still need, I don't know, do you still need tires?
Right.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Even if it comes from part of the conversation that was not exactly related to the sales, the sale that you're trying to make.
Right.
For instance, like in the beginning of the meeting, you may have like some small talk, and they may tell, "Oh, I'm looking for tires for my car," and maybe like you work in a position that it's like you're selling insurance or something, but you build a relationship with your customer that goes a little beyond, and then you ask them, "Oh, like I remember that you were getting the tires for your race car or something," and then you ask like follow-up questions on that, because usually it's like one of their passions that they will like talk about, and you get like a closer relationship with your client, and that brings the business closer to the client. So
that's really good. Wow, I'm really impressed at how much you know about customer service, Raphael. For someone who's an engineer, I kind of thought that, I don't know, have you ever worked in a fast food place? Or No? No? Did you just go right from college to engineering?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not listen to him. I'm just joking. No. Good tips. I actually think that's really important. Yeah, finding commonality to people, building that rapport by finding things that you have in common definitely builds a bond, because people do want to work with somebody that they like, and so if you can have that connection. I find that's really good. I know one of my first jobs was I was a manicurist. And, I learned really early that that people would come to you because they want their nails done well, but more importantly, they wanted to work with a girl that they actually had a good relationship with. Yeah. And so it was really relationship selling when I was doing nails, and I was building my clientele, and it was based on how well they liked me. So I had to really work towards that relationship and learn some of those skills of getting people to like you, So do you have any other tips that you'd like to share about building this business rapport and relationships?
Well, Raphael touched on a huge one, which is, remembering. So it's great when you have a great conversation with somebody, but the next time that you meet them, the next time that you see them, the next time you interact with them, if you remember their kid's name, their wife's name, their dog's name, the fact
where they went on vacation,
their last restaurant they were at that they were talking, they're raving about that restaurant or something of that nature. Just remembering those things in previous conversations and bringing them up again.
Yeah,
carrying
on the conversation. Yeah. It shows interest, right?
Shows that you're attentive, you're understanding their needs, you're paying attention to them, which people want to be heard. They want to tell their story. They want to, share what they know, and they want to tell you about their passions, whether it's, cars or motorcycles or
dogs
or sports
Right. Oh, that's really good.
So remembering that stuff.
Yeah, really, really good tips. So we usually ask people also on the show their experiences with the Seattle freeze. Do you have some experiences you've had with the Seattle freeze? Have you always lived in Seattle?
We touched on this a little bit last time that I was on with you guys, but no, I've been all over the West Coast. I've lived in a few cities on the East Coast for short periods of time in the military. So this is my third time living here in the Seattle area. So I've experienced a lot of different cultures, and Seattle is nice. They're very nice on the surface, and people are quick to have pleasantries, but it doesn't go much deeper than that.
So really it's more superficial. Yeah. And do you see that this Seattle freeze ties into business relationships? Are you seeing that you might do business slightly different here versus in another part of the country?
It's very possible, very, very possible, because of the just the nature of individuals, and it really kind of depends on the industry that you're in. If you're doing sales on a big region, let's say the whole West Coast, you're going to have to change the way that you interact with people in different states and in cities. But
read the room.
You have to be able to read the room. Self-awareness is huge.
In a different situation with one company versus another. If it was the East Coast company versus the West Coast.
Right. Midwest. Different out in Ohio and in Chicago and Indiana than it is, out here. So you have to be able to be adaptable to your environment, and know what the culture is like here versus in a different part of the country.
Well, that's great.
Or world, for that matter.
And what were some of your different business roles that you've had where you've had to use some of these skills?
Industrial automation, hotel, resorts, banking, mutual funds, insurance. So
you probably worked with people all throughout the country, I imagine, in these roles.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've seen
all over the place.
All kinds of people in all different parts of the country, and you've had to be adaptive.
You have to.
Situations.
You really, that's probably a huge part of customer service is being adaptable. Because, for example, in a high volume call center, you're going to have 50, 70, 80, 90 calls a day coming through. You have to be like.
And all your customers are unique.
Right. In those situations,
each single one has their own unique problem, has the unique issue that they're going through that day or that week. So it is hard for people that have to handle all those calls to be super adaptive.
Yeah, that's got to be tremendously challenging.
So,
imagine. Yeah.
But when you have less customers, then you can keep track of the whole conversations that you had before. That also helps to give a better a service level that's more tailored to their needs, that you're going to more details if you have less clients.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what makes up good customer service is really being attentive to somebody's needs. Solving their problems, helping them identify quickly what it is they're looking for, and solving that problem that they have. Everybody kind of comes to you with a need, and it's how can you fit their need. And if you don't know, biggest thing, you guys, if you don't know, for the love of God, just find out. So many people just I don't know. But I don't know is just not an answer. If you don't know, the best thing to say is, let me find out and get back to you.
I will find out.
I will find out and get back to you. And then actually follow up.
Follow-up's huge.
Following up is great customer service. When you tell someone you're going to do something, you absolutely have to follow up for them to trust you. And those are the kind of people I think people want to work with. Someone you built a rapport, you trust them, you're solving their problems, you're helping them,
and you're focusing on the relationship and not just the transaction.
Right. Yeah. It's not just transactional. It is a relationship, and there's been business relationships where they've become friends. They've transitioned from business into friendship, because I think if you're doing it right, that happens.
If you're doing it right, that should happen, or could naturally progress into.
Yeah, not always.
Other businesses,
sometimes. Right. And you never know who in life you're going to be working with again. There's been times where I have been the employee for someone, and then a few years later, I'm hiring them as a consultant. So it's flip-flopped. So you never want to burn bridges. You always want to treat people really well, and you never know when that's going to circle back around in life. And you'll be connecting with that person in a whole different way. So yeah. So good customer service, you guys. I hope you found this episode interesting and helpful on learning about how to have better relationships in business around customer service. We have some really exciting events coming up. We have Dancing with the First Responders coming up October 1st. To be looking out for those. Tickets are going to be going on sale soon. And we're going to have some fun wine events here in the Woodinville Wine Country. So thank you for joining us. We've been filming today in Woodinville Wine Country, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.